Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. To my brothers and my sisters all over the land, I come before you as a brother with a mind made up. Many of us have been taught about a power, a God. Many of us believe in God. I used to believe in God, but something happened, and God exposed himself. Or should I say, God was exposed to me. And all of my beliefs went out of the window, for no longer needed, for now I had the knowledge of God. And so, irregardless to how other people might view God or how they might walk, has nothing to do with me. For years, I have recognized God as love. And the reason is because that was the situation that God exposed God to me. And so I wanted, even before then, but especially after then, because then, before I dreamed of it, before I hoped of it, but after then, I knew for a fact that it could be. I knew for a fact that it could be. And so when I decided to say, yes, I'll do this, I'll give it my choice to do the will. And so I began to do that. It cost me a lot of situational kind of situations, ladies and gentlemen. There's no denying that. Whatever you desire in your life that you're missing, things that you had to go through, without me naming them, I had to go through the same things. So I know you know, and I know you know, we know what we're talking about. I decided that I didn't know these things before I knew God. And that perhaps you, if you don't know God, don't know these things. And so I began to cross the country and do videos and CDs and pamphlets and brochures and radios and cable access, and oh man, I'm telling you, I did everything. Some of the times I was at junkyards. Sometimes I ended up going to jail. Sometimes I ended up going to prison. Sometimes it's been a crazy rocky world. But my mind was made up that your joy, your peace in life. I mean, can you imagine what it is to have joy and peace on your face? Can you imagine what it is to give a wonderful smile, and if you need to go to the dentist is right there to give you implants that you don't have to take out, that they can just be there, you can get that wonderful smile. Do you know have any thoughts of what it means to have the stress removed from your life? Do you have any idea what it means to be alive and to be you and to be proud of you? Well, that is what the good old master made for us all. Now, the changes that I have gone through have really been some of the greatest times of my life. They have been my rewards. I have been greatly disappointed because in my own thinking, I always hoped that you, the people, could see these things. I know you I used to be in the pulpit, and you used to come and ask me to pray for you, and what you would ask me to pray for you for is these same things. Now, rather than asking somebody to pray for you, God telling you, you already got it. All you got to do is get off your knees and get busy, and let that be your goal and your ambition, not just for yourself, but for all of you guys. So, so I go around and I ran for office, ran for governor, mayors, United States senators, and once again president. Champion what? The same old beautiful message. And you know what? Nobody could see it. No one. I mean, the people, the local people, they couldn't see it. And so it didn't catch. I wasn't out trying to raise money. I figured something this wonderful, you should just grab it and let it catch like a wildfire all over this nation. People should be so grateful that God has finally looked down on them and saw mercy and sent the message of what you can have, and you don't have to worry about being had because you playing a role in it. My. But the thing, I really never gave it up. All of those wonderful things in life, those fancy cars, those living in those homes just like you would like to live in them. I've been blessed. But those things, to travel to Paris, to travel to those places I want to go, I haven't done many of them. Never will if things don't change. If you don't wake up, it won't be happening. But what happened, ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, was the election of 2016. That's when you had two representatives of the parties, political parties, the Democrat and Republican, man and woman. And each of them called the other devils. And the supporters of each group called the others devils. And they ran ads, they told stories, they told histories, they told information that perhaps other parts of the country didn't know, to try to reveal these individuals as evil people. And I sat back and I watched them. None of these people talked about the things that God sent, the message that God sent to you. Or should I say, if you don't want to use God, none of them talked about the message I shared with you. None of them. None of them even told you they had a plan. Because they didn't. Even of what they do. But you accepted them. You said, well, okay, that's what they put before us, and that's what we will accept. And then you went to the polls and you justified your going to the polls by saying you were voting for the lesser of the two. Not knowing that it might have been the lesser when you started. But if you got the vote, he was the biggest devil in the country. And so what we got was the biggest devil in the country. And I'm sitting there thinking about all of this heavenliness that I've been sharing with you. I share with you now. I got thousands of videos on YouTube and Facebook, and all it talks about is God's love for you and how simple it is for you to receive it. And when it's received, it's not just yours. It's a national. It's an international. It's an all over the earth kind of thing, because that's the way love flows. Love walks like that. Now, you end up with something like causing all this chaos. Adding all this, well, I talked about division all the time, but even more division. Splitting you up. Trying his best to be a dictator. Caught you off guard. And you don't know what to do. I know you're looking for somebody to follow. You're hoping the Democrats come back with a little bit so you can try to get Trump out of the office. But God's still standing over there in the cut saying all you got to do is love one another, to do unto others as you'd have others to do unto you. Recognize that all things belong to me, and nothing except that which you come together and create together for yourselves actually belongs to you. And that path, my friends, and you still don't know it. I understand that. But what I am trying to say to all of you is that as well as you can have it, there has been an example said that there's a way to have it, and that's the right way. That's the divine way. That's the way of love, not the way of hate. And it seems to me the way of love has been rejected. And the only way it seems you can have it is the way of hate. And I don't choose to be a part of that. So, while I cannot force you to accept the message because God gave you a choice, you can choose the right way or your own way. And you know you're not choosing the right way because you got a problem. So I had a problem. So I'm going to choose the right way. What I'm saying is this. I have followed this nation's rules and regulations up until I got to a point I chose not to do it. But for the most part, I have done it. And I've paid the price that was required to be paid for doing it. But right now I stand up to say to everybody that there's no devil that's going to rule me. You can put the devil in the White House if you want to. You can put evil and division in the White House if you want to. You can put it in the legislature and have them making rules and regulations that subject everybody to follow those rules. But I'm telling you, I follow one rule, and that's the rule of love. And as long as we have got somebody trying to divide us and split us I got a conversation to tell you about God's love. It's a love of putting all of that other stuff behind you, putting your group behind you, opening up your own self to God, and have what you heard that thing said, a straight and narrow way, a straight and narrow way. Straight, that means you going straight up. Ain't nobody on your side. No mother, no father, no sister, no brothers, no children. You got to go through this yourself. You got to wake up. And anybody can keep you from if you allow them to. Those people who you got to push aside, if you let them, they will keep your butt in blindness. They will keep you in stupidity. They will keep you a slave if you allow them to. You have to put it aside and open yourself up to God. Only then can you help them. Otherwise, they're going to sink your butt. So, if they don't like you, smile. Be glad that you have been set aside to shine. Because they going to like it. They going to like it because they ain't going to be able to not like you. Why? Because you ain't nothing but love. So, I'm trying to say this. I won't be following your rules and regulations that I don't like. And I'll be going to court. I'll be doing whatever I can to let you know that I'm not trying to be a bigot. I want you to know that there's a better way. And since you have chosen evil to run your lives, I'm still going to represent what the Spirit of love says is right. Now, I understand that that's my choice. And I understand it got its own consequences. And they are that you will see the light sooner than later. And as they say, just business. This ain't no business. This is life. This is life. So, what I really want you to do for a settlement, if you still choose to be ruled and controlled by a system of hypocrisy and jive and tookie and lies and a little love that ain't yours. For me, by the power of God's love and God's right, everybody that's connected to me, that means all of my children, every last one of them, and every last one of their children, and every last one of their parents, and their parents' siblings, and my parents, and my parents' siblings, all of us, we, by the power of God, are connected. And everything that God has provided for all of us on the earth that you reject, I claim for all of us. You can do what you want to do, but I'll be darned if you're going to make me suffer because of it. I claim by the power of God what I call it is an absolute birthright. And I'm not going to follow your rules that I don't like until you straighten your tail up. I'm not going. You can't make me do it any longer. You cannot make me do it any longer. As I was kind of sidetracked a moment ago, I keep thinking about those dogs, those fire hydrants, and that water and how you treated black people in the South in the 60s. I keep thinking about how in South Africa, when those people got together tired of being treated like less than animals and you shot them down like dogs. Golly, that thing keeps going back in my mind. And I'm thinking about these are the same people who run the world. These are the same people who sits on the top, sitting up there talking about they run the world. And then trying to tell you about God. No. I heard some people saying the other day that God sent the United States president. Can you imagine all those preachers standing before their congregations saying that they themselves weren't worthy? They talk about the love of God every Sunday. They teach Sunday school. They teaching everybody about God's love. But God needed somebody down here in a human form to make an expression in this nation. And he couldn't find not one good person amongst them. So he chose the lesser of the two evils that was made the biggest evil on the planet. Trying to be. No, my friends. That's them. That's the world that rules you. That's the world that has been ruling me. That's the world that I wake up and I see it for what it is. I'm not mad with you because this stuff has been going on a long time. And everything you are doing, I know is just tradition. Even your hate is tradition. Your racism is tradition. Bigotry, tradition. Crime and violence, tradition. Terror and war, it's just tradition. Going around and around in a circle. From one man's point of view to another man's point of view to another man's point of view. Never recognizing that it ain't getting you nowhere. There's one way. And that's the way that it was made to be. It was made to be. You didn't. So, I just want you to know, I just wanted to leave this to let you know, I'm not mad at you. I was a little disappointed because I didn't think you'd be this blind. I really didn't think you'd be this blind. No, I understand the old folk were back in slavery, but I thought this what we call whatever we are. I didn't never think we'd be this blind. We are worse than our parents. But I ain't mad with you. I'm just glad that I can see. And I'm glad that I got courage enough. And by having courage enough, I have experienced things, ladies and gentlemen, that you're scared to experience. And so before I go, I was going to go, but let me say this before I go. When you are doing things because of love, they really can't punish you. Because everything that they do to punish you is an expression of how true your love is. And deep down inside, I'm telling you, the individual, deep down inside, there's a joy that just, the world didn't give it to you. And the world can't take it away. So, that's when you're working by the power of love. You go to prison and they kick you out. I'm telling you, man. Look, bye-bye.